to tears. She gets it. Leon says this lady is right. If it was a white country, it wouldn't have gone this far.
How is this amazing LBC caller Heather? The best of the week? Now, yes, I know it's Sir Wednesday, but I can guarantee you I don't think there'll be anyone none better this week. Well, James O'Brien was talking about the latest news about Israel, basically wanted to boot out people from Palestine in Palestine and basically annex it. Well, for me, Heather, just knocked the conversation out the park.
I just quite nervous. I don't know. I was just going to leave you a message.
Okay. Take your time. Take your time.
I just can't quite comprehend how we can stand by. And these are human beings. Mm. They're not the cat or the dog that lives down the road. And you think, we can get rid of that because we don't want it in our street anymore. That isn't really quite what I was going to say. But if you actually say anything, you're a Hamas supporter.
Yes.
Which I don't support Hamas.
No,
and I do not believe that every Palestinian is an Islamist. I'd be very surprised if you actually did a poll, how many of you actually support Hamas? And it'd be very, very, very
lower
minuscule.
than ever as well, of course. And it's gone down every year probably since the elections where they did prevail. I mean, we have to bear that in mind. They did win an election.
But nobody's been able to vote. So we have 30-year-olds that didn't even manage to vote. So, but you hear talk that, like a baby is responsible.
Yes.
How can a baby be responsible? And
all Palestinians are guilty, I've read as well. I've seen that coming from, senior members of the administration.
And I've always supported the Jewish population. I've been to Auschwitz and absolutely appalled. But I can't cope with, actually, there might not be put in gas chambers, but it is a slow death they're having, not a quick one.
Well, I don't think
where can these people go? And why should we? If somebody said to me, I'm going to take over your village, so you've got to get out. Well, where? Where do you go?
Well, the suggestion, as you probably know, they've mentioned Egypt and another country just temporarily eludes me as possible destinations for the displaced people, but they of course object to this on the grounds that it's ethnic cleansing. It would make them complicit in ethnic cleansing.
But they won't ever be able to go home.
Well, I think that's the plan. I think we can say that with some confidence now, can't we?
And I do think you wouldn't be living next to an Islamist if people were given the same rights. If everybody had a right, the same rights. I don't live near Islamists because they've got the same rights as I have. And that's my thoughts anyway.
Beautifully
put. I find it devastating. I could cry every day because there's nothing I can do. Nothing.
I think you speak for a lot of people listening today, Heather.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I really do. Because that sense of... You've managed to convey a combination of disbelief and horror. Because you know it's true, and disbelief because you can't make sense of it.
No, not... if it was... I don't like to say this, but if it was a white country against a white country, we wouldn't let it happen. We would definitely step in and try and stop it. It's like humanitarian aid. How can it be right? You can't just stop aid to people who can't get out and find it somewhere else. So that's it, really. I've got that off my chest.
Well, I'm glad you have. Are you all right? Do you feel okay?
Yeah,
Good.
it's just a daily thing, though.
I know it well.
I really shouldn't watch the news.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it doesn't get covered as much as it would if it did fit some of... Well, it doesn't get covered as much as it would if journalists from the big broadcasting organisations and newspapers in this country were actually allowed into the Gaza Strip, and the ones that do manage to get in are now having their latest report held up by the BBC because of the scandal that greeted the revelation that the presenter of a previous BBC documentary made by completely different people was the son of a civil servant in the Hamas government, or a member of Hamas himself, technically. So let's not mince our words on that, but that is why perhaps it's so hard to get a handle on so much. But I can tell you, Heather, that you've spoken for a lot of people, and I know that because they're telling me. The voice of humanity, Bev has called you, and Alan says your current caller is spot on and saying the truth. Heather is completely right. I'm crying along with Heather. She says exactly what is in my heart. I can feel her helplessness. Ahmad writes, I love this sweet lady. Gavin says, Heather speaks for me. Ash says, Heather has brought me to tears. She gets it. Leon says, this lady is right. If it was a white country, it wouldn't have gone this far. Sheena says, I feel exactly the same. Please give voice to people there. Thank you, Heather, on behalf of all of those people for doing what you just did and saying what you just said.
Now, wasn't she brilliant? And I have to say, I totally agree with everything that she had to say. And in my own personal opinion, I believe that this Israeli government is probably doing far more damage to the people of Israel than Hamas could ever do to the Jewish community and the people of Israel. So that's my personal opinion. But what do you guys think? Wasn't Heather absolutely amazing and absolutely spot on? And more importantly, do you think she would call over the week? Well, let me know down below. And if you enjoy everything, House of Commons, Select Committee meetings and anything political, please like and subscribe. And I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.